Hey guys, welcome to the channel. You know, this is the first video, and to be honest, this channel was going to be about a lot different of topics, but let's jump right in. You know, uh, goals. That's what I just want to talk about today. It's just goals. You know, like I've been holding off on making this YouTube channel for a long time. This was actually gonna be a gaming channel, but then I changed directions, and I wanted to actually talk about life. I got older. I'm not a kid no more. I mean, I still got all the teddy bears and stuff. And I remember my dad judging me like, "Why do you have these?" And man, when I get older, I'm gonna give them to my kids in the same way, right? So I don't really mind. But I mean, that could be a whole subject on itself. Just not letting other people dictate what you want to do with your life. But I want to get back to the goals. You know, they're called goals because they take a long time. I've been sitting back and waiting too long. Now that what the things I know, now that I'm older and I've gotten in the workforce and school, it's like, you know, time is never going to slow down to accommodate your goals. That's what your job's for, you know? That's why you need to make them goals. If you don't make it goals, then I mean, what are we doing here, right? It's like going to school. You know, you didn't go to school because you didn't have a goal. You didn't have the end mind set. You need to have your vision on the end at all times. I actually think one of the big things people forget in life, and I'm not gonna lie, I do the same thing, is they forget about God. You know, I don't want this to go down some rabbit hole where as soon as I bring up God, people are gonna click off the video. But you know, I grew up and man, I'm the last of my brothers. Had two of them on this planet. That was just me. Kind of crazy, you know? I'm only 25. I lost the first one when I was in middle school. I think the first year of middle school, something like that. Maybe it was the last. Yeah, I think it was the last year of middle school. And then my other brother died. I think it's coming up 2 years now. You know? That's another thing that really got me to start getting these videos or wanting just to post and got me off the video games and just experimenting with life. Once you lose them and you're like, oh, I'm the last son, like if I don't do something with my life, my family tree is just going to end with me. A lot of goals and priorities that people need to get set straight. And I think people actually abandon family way too much and think family is beautiful or whatever. Well, it's like, think about your marriage. And now we're going down another tangent, but hear me out. Hear me out. Think about your marriage, you know? It's like for 90% of marriages, I think there's probably a moment of spite or, where it's rough. The waters you know, aren't calm. You're trying to get to the Antarctic. You had to go through, the southern seas and whatever. I'm pretty sure it's you hit really rough water before you get to the Arctic, you know? And even if you got to the Arctic, there's ice there. You gotta get through the ice to get to the land, you know? You might not even see where the land is. Relationships are the same way, where sometimes I think in relationships, you don't see the end line. You're too focused on all this negative stuff impacting your relationship. Now, don't get me wrong, it's so hard to live in the moment. One of the things that I've had to really get down in my life is just appreciating everything I have. Being like, you know what? I have it great. And I've had to go through way more than most people have. But that shapes you. That makes you have character, backbone, a story. That's why I'm doing this, actually. I was going to write a book. My family members, on my mom's side, they're like, you need to write a book. You've gone through so much. I'm not going to go too much in depth, but it's like my mom got murdered. And we haven't even really talked about that stuff. And I'm not ready to go there, you know? But life is hard. Life is real hard. I don't know how y'all be doing it. Maybe y'all don't be doing it and you just be gaming your life away. I mean, I did that for a while. Porn, you know, they get in the way of your goals. And sometimes it's hard to see that in the moment, you know, because it makes you happy. But in the same way, where it's like because your relationship is making you unhappy, leaving isn't always the right choice, right? And so I'm just trying to get at, I guess it's vice versa, but sometimes the feeling that, or that should be associated with staying or leaving can be flipped at times. But this is about goals, right? And I'm sorry that we got all off the track, but I mean, your relationship, a marriage is a big goal. It just that goal ends when you get in the grave. And most people don't want to think that far in the future. I know I have a hard time thinking that far into the future. It feels rough. I don't like thinking about death, but death is actually a goal of mine. I'm not suicidal. It's just now knowing, well, I've always been a Christian, but trying to get back to my roots of Christianity, as I grown up, went to school and all that, you get farther and divide from where you started in life. And sometimes you just need to go back. I don't know if there's examples of that in your life, but goals. I do apologize that this video went for an extended period of time, but I just want to say goals are the most important thing that we have. And I don't know if you're chasing your goals or not, but I hope you see, or maybe you're thinking about making a YouTube channel or whatever your goals are. Hopefully this video gives you a little bit of motivation, because at the end of the day, you don't know when your last breath will be. And there's people in your life today who may not be in your life in the future. And you may be able to see your goals, but I know for me personally, my goals are it's very important to me for to share my goals. I don't think sharing your goals is always best in the beginning. Keep your goals tight. But once you achieve your goals, share your fruit with the people you care about. You'll make it way farther in life doing that. You know? There's people out here where their parents haven't paid off their mortgage and they have the money, so they're going and buying a house and not paying their, parents' mortgage off or stuff like that. And do you? I mean, at the end of the day, your parents want you to enjoy the best life. But that's not, and that's what I think our world teaches. But I think sometimes we need to go back and realize that kids didn't always leave the house. They didn't always leave the flock when they graduated. They joined the flock after they graduated, and they helped build their family's prosperous future. I don't think those times have ended. I think, if anything, because of the hardships we're in now, you should incorporate those goals into your future. There's people in life that will always be by your side. If you make sure they're right, they'll make sure you're right. Now, this has been a big tangent, but I hope everyone out there, you strive to get to your goals, you know? And I'm going to keep posting these every day, just inspiration. because there's a lot of things in life that only seem far away at the beginning. But then once you get going, you're just on your trike. Hell, you could just be walking towards your goals, and eventually, after you've been walking so far, you won't even remember how far you've been walking, and you'll be way farther to your goals than ever before. And this is a scenario that all people in life can think about, is just time. How many times in life do you look back and you're like, wow, it's been 4 years already? It's been 5 years? Dang, where did time go? And if you don't take those baby steps towards your goals, the time's gonna pass either way. And I know I'm totally oversimplifying what I'm trying to get at, but I'm really trying to get at is that in the same way, once time goes by and it almost feels like that was a dream, taking those baby steps towards your goals when they're challenging and tough will be the exact same way. It'll feel like a dream by the time you get done. So push for your goals, learn an instrument, get off TikTok, and most importantly, everyone, please make a goal. Any goal. You know? The only time people make goals is for New Year's resolution for some reason. But make a goal every single day, just one, and see how far your life gets. You know? I'm not going to edit this video. I'm going to post it raw, and I hope someone out there gets it and likes it. And stay posted for the next video. Like I said, I changed the whole vibe of what this channel is going to be about, but I've experienced a crazy life, and I just want to give some of my experience or some wisdom to other people online. That's it. I don't know who needs to hear it, but that's it. I love you guys, and if you listen to this, then maybe consider hitting that subscribe button. This is the first video. I love you as an American, as a human, as a man or female, or whoever you are, or whoever you people may be out there. Just know you're not alone. Life, it can be rough, but you're definitely not alone. Peace.